I'll call to order this regular meeting of the Murphysboro City Council held on Tuesday, December 19th at 5:59 p.m. I ask you all rise. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you once again for this opportunity to come together as members of the City Council, the city staff, and members of the public. We appreciate so much we live in a country where we're able to come together and consider these various issues before us, and hopefully come to conclusions that are for the most number of positive outcomes as possible, for the largest number of people as possible. Lord, we pray during this winter season that in these cold temperatures, the people that seek warmth will be able to find it, and that the fellowship of our friends and families would come together around Christmas time would be something that we would cherish and hold dear in our moments that we experience and in our memories of the days and years to come. And we pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, with liberty and justice for all.
Alderman Hughes. Alderman Green. Alderman Reynolds.
Here.
Alderman Austin. Here. Alderman Jackson. Here. Alderman Taylor.
Here.
Alderman Ernest. Here. Alderman Coleman. Alderman Ritchie.
Here.
Here. All right, first we have the consideration of minutes from December 5th, 2023. Entertain any questions or amendments to the minutes at this time. Hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That takes us into our regular committee and commission reports. First we have, oh, excuse me.
Sorry.
No, thank you, John. Of course I had it. We also have the consideration of minutes from our Budget and Finance Committee meeting from Thursday, December the 7th. Entertaining questions or amendments to those minutes. Motion from Mr. Ernest, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right, now we can move into our committee and commission reports. Our first we have Budget and Finance Chair, Mr. Freddie J. Peck.
No items under old business. We just covered the first item on the new business. We had consideration of final payment for the water tower renovation project.
Yeah, it's essentially just releasing the final retainage to contractor. I think that was $29,000. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Total 7580.
$29,075. That project is complete. The warranty has been established, so I think we're in pretty good shape to release that retainage.
Anybody have any questions?
Question, Tim. Project's done, everything okay with you? On what was done and how it was done?
I think we're supposed to put some hand wax on that 6 months, so that's all us.
Yeah, the volunteers.
Maybe we have to live line up there.
Yeah. They put everything back that they were about. It's great. Working good, everything's great.
Entertain the motion to make that final payment. Second motion. And a second, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is distribution of account payable registers. Anybody have any questions on bills? Hearing none, entertain a motion to pay bills. We have a motion, we have a second.
Second. passed out every. We only have one in the packet, so. Report. That represent the and so we did exceed budget by close to 200,000. So that continues to be a good number. So. So but this time it was, and so we budgeted $1,050,000, so we exceeded that one too. So I don't think you can complain about people. That was pleasantly surprised. And that kind of brings it over. So the economic situation is. So
I've heard that they may be expecting at least 2 drops before the second quarter of next year. The increases were what they have been
So, any questions on that, or? Okay.
Thank you, Tim. Alright, next item is consideration of proposed fiscal year 2020. We have to make, if there is a motion for an amendment to that, do we make that separately,
or any revision to the budget, and then make a motion to approve the budget with the approved revision.
so are there any motions for any revision to the proposed?
Motion to reduce the pay functions and the salary of firefighter, part of that, by trying to keep them out.
Scott, can you tell us what those changes would be if we made?
Yeah. You know, that's what there we go.
And the article,
Let's see. So, the cost. The pension contribution was 71,766. That's not right. So now. But consider the 25. The next is 46,000. No, right there.
We have a motion to make those changes.
that'd be fine. What he said, yes, I would do that.
I'll second it. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Aye.
I would suggest roll call vote.
Roll call vote. Yes. Yes, the motion would remove the additional.
Alderman Hughes. Yes. Alderman Curry Wilson. No. Alderman Ruggie.
No.
Alderman Austin.
No.
Alderman Jackson. Yes. Alderman Pittman.
Yes.
Alderman Purvis.
No.
Alderman Glad.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
Passes.
Matt, Steve, for a second.
Sure.
To consider, as part of the toward a ladder truck from 100,000 to 50,000, I would ask the council to reconsider applying that 50,000 back to that line and set aside 100,000 for the ladder truck. It's almost the exact same amount that we just spoke on.
Is there anyone on the council that wishes to give that suggestion consideration?
I would make that motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Is that James?
Yes.
Roll call vote on that.
Okay, give me just 1 second. So for the next vote, Alderman Hughes. I'm working on it. Okay. That's okay. Yes. Alderman Curtis. Yes. Alderman Murphy.
Yes.
Alderman Austin.
Yes.
Alderman Jackson.
Yes.
Alderman Pittman.
No.
Alderman Irvis.
No.
Alderman Gladden.
No.
I guess I so passed.
All right.
Okay, so then, do we have a motion to approve the budget for fiscal year 2024 as amended?
So moved.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. All right, motion carries. Okay. Is there any public comment on budget and finance? Hearing none, we can move out budget.
Thank you, Building. Takes us into Building and Grounds, chaired by Mr. Mike Austin.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Under old business, we have consideration of engagement with Berry and Associates. That was the piece of paper that you have in front of you, the services agreement, and that was also discussed in good length at the last meeting. So if you would like to have a second to provide those not at the last meetings, a brief
Sure.
on that.
So, Phelps, Berry and Associates is led by Brandon Phelps, who's a former state representative for the 115th District. He lobbies on behalf of Ameren, Illinois, and Southern Illinois Builders, and a few other groups. He does not lobby for any other municipalities. We were able to get included in the state budget $1 million to help pay for our new building. However, the General Assembly placed $1 billion more projects in the budget than there is funding to pay for them. And so there is, essentially what's happening is, you are in line, but the people that have an advocate, working on their behalf to get money released are more likely to get the money released than people who do not. I spoke with Representative Lindhorst, Representative Ryan, Senator Fowler and others, and they all, as well as Brad Cole from the Municipal League, and they all believe that it was a legitimate and worthwhile investment, especially on a specific item like this, to engage with lobbyist services to try to help get the money released. Brad Cole said, I don't think a city like Murphysboro needs, just a lobbyist on retainer all the time generally, but if there's something specific you want, he said, I think it makes sense. In terms of the contract, there was one paragraph in there that talked about expenses of printing and travel and these things. They said that could be struck from the contract completely. They aren't looking to charge city expenses, just strictly a $3,000 a month retainer for a 6-month time period. There was also a provision that talked about requiring electronic payment. They said that wasn't necessary either, that they'd be willing to take a check payment as is typically our practice. So that is everything. I know our city attorney reviewed the contract. Richard, do you have any other comments on it?
Just briefly, it's a very basic contract. It speaks in very general terms what their consulting services will consist of. I noticed one typo, with the paragraph, the sentence the mayor is speaking of can be deleted. Other than that, I noticed one typo. It's in paragraph 5, where it speaks client agrees to identify, where it appears and. I think that should be any information which must be kept confidential. And just a typo. It's clear to see that it should be any rather than and. But other than that, substantive wise, other than what the mayor as a indicated will be deleted. I do not see any objection to the contract.
Pretty C would be deleted.
Could be deleted. Right.
That's all I have, Mr. Wall.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions from the council?
And if we decided we wanted another 6 months, close to the end of the 6 months, we can renew this, or?
Certainly we could. The contract even has a 30-day provision
Yeah, I see that.
where we can, if we're dissatisfied with whatever. But I'm sure that, most of the decision-making in Springfield happens between February and May, because that's when the budget for the new year is crafted and based. That's why I target.
So the money would have to be released by when? Before the next budget, or what's the?
It's been my experience that money can be released at any time that they want to release it.
I think we discussed last time, once you're in there for the long haul,
So we're probably in the next year, we can write it out, okay.
Right.
Do we have a motion for approval of engagement with Murphysboro?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion, we have a second?
As amended.
As amended, yes, thank you. You, WJ, you second? Okay. We have a motion and a second. We have, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have no new business in buildings and grounds. We have,
I don't know if this will go on the building and ground or public improvement, but I'm sure you guys are aware that my wife and sister-in-law, they own City East Cafe, and we purchased the Terrence EPA building. Our plan is to tear that down. We've been going through all the paperwork and getting everything signed, and we just got back our, what do you call that?
Asbestos.
Yeah, the asbestos inspection, and we sent that off to get the approval for it, but the inspector signed in the wrong spot, so it got sent back, so we had to resubmit it. That's what we're waiting on. We still plan on tearing it down, it's just we're waiting on paperwork, so, but I'll let you guys know before we move any farther with that. Just let you know we weren't just sitting on it, because we do still plan on tearing it down, so.
Thank you.
thank you. Is there any other public comments? If not, Mayor, we can move out buildings and grounds. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. That takes us to community relations, Chairman, by Ms. Curdy Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor. We have no old business, we have no new business, we have no public comment. Hearing none, seeing none, we can come out of the meeting.
Chairman, Mr. Don.
Thank you, Mayor. There is no old business under public improvement and no business to be considered. Is there any public comment? Hearing none, back to you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, that takes us to Public Works. We have no old business under Public Works, nor do we have any new business. Is there any public comment on Public Works? Hearing none, that takes us to Public Safety, Chairman, by Mr. John or Ms. John.
Thank you, Mayor. One item, old business, consideration for them to then city section of chapter 3 handles. We discussed that last meeting, Richard. Got a chance to talk to Officer Finch?
I did, I spoke with Officer Tension, at the last meeting, and was discussed section 3115 on declaring an animal to be a nuisance. As we discussed, the same animal has been involved of the same section code on 3 separate occasions. The animal would be deemed a nuisance, which would require the owner to remove the animal from the city, or if not, the city would. Convictions would need to take place. In discussing with the question with Officer Tincher, we put in the time frame of 2 years. So that's the one change. What else would have been made? The other general offenses, those have all increased by $50. So now, $50, $250, subsequent offenses are $350. There are certain offenses that can be up to $1,000. Some of the more severe vicious stuff, the attack, those type of matters, they include that be up to 1,000. Yes, any questions, I can answer those as best I can, or any other concerns, I'm letting you know.
The only comment that I have, I personally think that 2 years is still too long, but he's the expert, and he's been in it quite a few years, so I'm going to go with that. It still seems like a long time to me.
And I think it will really not bother a lot of animals.
Well, I don't think so either. I can just see, I mean, and you could have 22 months of nothing between the first two and then the third one, and it's gone. But again, I'm going to vote yes because he's the expert in it. So.
I'm ready to just be 2 years. An unruly animal is an unruly animal. And I don't think that we should put that 2 year after 2 year. I mean, that's just how I personally feel. I'm very uncomfortable with it. I've been around animals all my life. But anyway.
What does the city council maintain in this process of this ordinance?
This process, it would be a matter of enforcement.
Well, I'm hearing some concerns about timelines, and I just, wonder if, I hate to drag on and approval of the ordinance, but,
Well, so let me make a motion to strike the 2 year. And see if there's a second, and if there's not a second.
Would you change it or just leave it?
No timeline. No, like I said, I make that
That's
motion.
not the original, correct? There was no time. Well, that was the change that was added from the last time.
Is there a second?
I said, can we make it like a year, and if someone, wants to take their animal to try to like rehabilitate them, they have that time and opportunity to do that, if they don't want to do that?
well, we could, but we do have a motion from Don to strike 2 years, so see if there's a second on that.
John?
No, I was asking if there was a second.
Oh, I said.
Hearing none, then I go back to the current 2-year amendment from the last meeting, correct? We're back to this.
Any other motions on it?
I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance as it was presented here tonight.
Is there a second?
I'll say it.
Moving second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
No. Jackson, you said no? No. Don said no. And you said no. Okay.
That passes. All right, that passes, thank you. Thank you, Richard. So, okay, no new business, I have a couple comments, I'll probably say.
All right, that takes us to personnel chair by Ms. Barr.
The old business consideration of changing to a non-carrier. I know that there was a considerable increase, and I'm assuming it's has the answer to my questions. I know that you had told me that there was like a 50% increase of health insurance. I know you also had employee meeting to go over other options, is that correct?
Correct. We had a quote come in yesterday from Allstate Benefits.
Okay.
It generated about a 5.9% increase.
Yeah, instead of 50.
Not 50%.
Now, because it does increase our HRA exposure some, not a lot, but, so we could lose, some, but so what the difference between that 50% was going to be on the premium now. So we have a lot, absorbed, received increases in the HRA, which history has told us are nowhere near that.
Yeah.
So,
Were the employees, did they feel positive about this change?
The only major concerns that I've heard is out-of-network, out-of-pocket max for out-of-network, and I think that was it. There wasn't any.
yeah.
But for the plan,
Otherwise, do we have very similar to the same coverage as we had with the previous Health Alliance or West Health Alliance?
yeah, it is very similar. There are some differences, like the drug tiers with Health Alliance was a 5-tier. With this, Allstate Benefits is 3. There's some other differences. Urgent care went from 80 to 75. All of this is the same.
We have to, we'd like to, and maybe mandated that we stay within the same type of benefits if we have to change carriers. So with the contracts that we have across the city, you feel as though this does that?
Yeah, I feel it is very comparable, yes.
Okay. Is it comparable program or insurance rate? Does anyone have any other questions about employee insurance?
So I didn't get a chance to attend the meeting, and I just asked the department heads, does everybody feel, I'm assuming everybody was there, everybody feels comfortable with the change to the new minutes from what it is to what it was last year?
The only thing that my people looked at was on one occasion, the dependent coverage is going up for dependents compared to what the normal been for them across the board.
What's the percent of that dependent coverage going up?
I don't know the percentage, but I can tell you the dollar amount is going to $870 from $603 per month.
So, $200.
So traditionally, up to this point, we've always just had basically a standard premium insurance plan plus the last 6 years because it's HRA component. But it has, as the insurance agent, you can describe self-insured plan with training wheels, which I like that because I've always been scared of the horror stories from the county and all what they went through. Well, this has plenty of safety on the hook for unforeseen things like they are, and there's both mechanisms to get out of it, untold claims for months and months after that, and if we have good utilization, if we have low claims, there's a possibility that we could even get some of the premium refunded because they break the premiums that we pay in several different baskets. And another is we're mentioned about what the claims are and what where the dollars are going, because we've never really seen that until it's time to re-quote. All
Here to see if we are, if they're spending more than what we are.
Yeah. knows?
Sandra, do you know roughly how many employees we have that have dependent coverage?
Two.
Just two.
How many?
Two.
Oh, there's only two that have dependent coverage? Oh, I thought there were probably more.
I think we have 3 with spouses
Mm-hmm.
and then 1 family.
So is that 800, is that just spouses that have a family?
That was just employee child rate. Yeah. And it was a 44%
So
increase.
Scott, the figure that I'm seeing in the budget for 2024, that was before we got this new information?
Correct.
100,000?
Maybe over that number. We just don't know the
That was
effect.
just like, that's my mistake, I was looking at the two figures, which is about 200. But that was without the 5% or 6% increase, so, yeah.
Right, and the additional HRA exposure.
I would say the HRA, is that still the same?
No, we-
HRA come through Allstate also?
Yes, they
And
use
They have
Ally,
their own, that, just like everyone was through,
BTC.
yeah.
Can I ask, and I don't know if this is something anybody would consider or not, but if there is an increased amount in the dependent, there's not that many, if we stay under budget through the next year, would anybody consider looking at the end of the year reimbursing for the people that do take advantage of that and the difference between the coverage from last year to this year?
I mean, I'm sure that would, draw additional people to want to, engage dependents upon that coverage.
I mean, they weren't paying it currently, so they would still have to pay, just the difference between, what do you say,
What the rate is.
870 to
603. So that would be, a couple $100, $100 and something $200 per month for a person.
167.
Yeah.
Well, I think something that would probably need to be.
I think that we need not to commit to that, though, unless we
If
say.
we say, we don't have to say, vote on it now, even, but I would think let's consider that at the end of the year. If we're come up well under what we have budgeted, maybe that's something we can look at.
Can I make a suggestion? Since we don't know what that would do to our overall census and the coverage of adding this group or that group, should we maybe not run this by Jamie Simmons to see if that makes sense to do something like that?
Well, I mean, reimbursement is going to be.
It's not a reimbursement.
We'd still be paying to say their cost per dependent.
You assume?
Yeah.
Yeah, James.
Yeah, I don't necessarily what you
And
said.
I would say, even if we want, we had dependent coverage in the prior year, that's something, like I said, we don't have to vote on that. November, December of next year when we see where we're at on the budget for the healthcare right now, but I think, since the increase in the overall cost of the healthcare isn't near what we thought it would be, if we could still incur that cost and still come with under budget on healthcare, it'd be something, that we said.
I've seen that happen before with that kind of situation, and sometimes they did the full benefit, and sometimes they did a
I
percentage.
mean, even if we split the difference,
I mean, like, I think Sanders said, like 44% increase, so you gotta figure those employees that are losing that,
And that's
that amount's wiping out like 5 years worth of raises overnight, just having to pay that 44%, really, at a weekly raise, normal raise of, $25, $35 a week on your paycheck. You figure that, and that, it's any kind of a raise that you would get.
That's about $40 a week.
and I honestly don't even know how I feel about it, I just want to throw it out there, at the end of the year, you know?
It's something to consider.
You know, we may find out at the end of the year that our revenue is nowhere near where we thought it was gonna be after having 2 record years and, you know, we don't talk about that, so, you know, I just let everybody think about that towards the end of the year next year. That's all I'll remember, you know?
I'm going to make a motion to accept the all-state price.
I got a question real quick. Did we ever get an answer on the max out-of-pocket for out of nowhere?
No. Max out of pocket for what?
For out of network, if somebody, you know, it was brought up in a meeting that if somebody was to have an emergency, or, I know emergency care is covered, but some other situation where they were sick or whatever, had to go to the hospital for whatever out of network. You know, but on the paper it says, I think 17,000 is out of network cost. And I think everybody in the meeting was under the impression that 250 was your max out of pocket in network or out of network. And that was never clarified in the meeting.
It's my opinion that there's no way that the city can offer, you know, the same benefits that out of network in non-emergency situation. I mean, if somebody has, you know, knee replacement or something, or some, you know, regular routine doctor's appointment, the only way that we can continue to offer health insurance to employees is to, you know, be able to go to these insurance companies. Of course, they're giving us these rates based on in-network costs. And so I just, for emergencies, you're on vacation in Florida and, you know, you're in a car wreck or something, all that stuff is covered. But, you know, if you've got, decide to go to Wichita, Kansas to get treatment instead of going to Carbondale or whatever, I don't think we could continue to keep the rates that we get on our insurance if we were to offer that, you know, minimum out of pocket for out-of-network services. I mean, that's just my perspective on it.
What's the,
It's Aetna.
what's the network as far as, kind of like St. Louis?
But
Oh, yeah.
specific.
It's not just, it's not just,
To my knowledge, it's never been an issue. I've never had anybody say, oh, I have this out-of-network claim that hasn't been able to be fixed and, you know, changed to in-network.
I had some doctors that were out of network. Before I went to them, I found that out and had to change.
Going out of network.
Doctors because I ended up at Barnes Jewish, and this group Aetna's covered at Barnes.
just like.
But if it's an emergency,
It's covered.
it's covered. So if you were traveling and you ended up having to go to a physician or a facility that was out of network, it still should be covered at the same rate. The only time it wouldn't be, correct me if I'm wrong here, that it wouldn't be is if you just chose to go to an out-of-network person.
Correct.
Okay. Does that answer your question?
I think so. I don't know if you have anything on that.
Do you guys have?
My department, we had some questions come up today. I contacted the center, we got it ironed out pretty good. The comparisons that we did seemed to be very, very close. There wasn't any big concerns out of my five, guys, my group. I can only speak for those five.
I'm not on the city's insurance, and nobody said anything in my department.
Okay.
Well, do we have a motion to adopt the new health
Is there
care?
anything, motion to adopt this new?
So moved.
Second,
Oh.
all in favor, aye? Opposed? Motion carries. Is there any public comment on personnel?
And glad I did, and want to comment our insert station on how everything was proceeded. And I will say that there was one business agent here for employees, and I didn't hear him complain.
What union is that? Laborers. Who was that?
John also.
Okay. Thank you.
So I just wanted to,
Thank you, John. far as I can tell, would come out of personnel.
All right, under the mayor's report, I have consideration of ordinance establishing the tourism commission. Had one for a long time, now we have ordinance to go with it. The only thing that I would like to ask for an amendment on is that there was concept of having employees only to the division that resided within the 62966 zip code. And I would like that to reflect Jackson County. As I thought about that some more, we actually have one member of the commission currently that does not have a 62966 zip code, but certainly has a presence in Murphysboro and has served there for quite some time. And then I, thought I saw like Janie Green, who, zip code address, but is obviously heavily involved. It would still have oversight on.
I think anybody's willing to advocate tourism on behalf.
Sure.
I'm okay with it.
So anyway, as long as that amendment is all right, I would entertain a motion to approve the ordinance.
So, second.
And a motion and a second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. We have, of course, tonight a couple of recommendations for appointment, one of which is this little cook who has really hung in there with us for the last 45 minutes. I appreciate her being here, and since she is in attendance, Lily, do you want to say anything at all?
No.
I'd entertain a motion to appoint her to the tourism commission. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. I also want to offer the appointment of Ryan Harper. Ryan works at 17th Street. He's one of the shift managers. He's also a musician who plays regularly on Wine Trail and regionally, and I think that he will have a good perspective on tourism and tourist-related items. I believe he had to work this evening and regrets being able. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, and again, thank you. With that, we'll move to council member requests, and I'll start with
And I thank you all for your prayers and your thoughts during my recent weeks of losing my sister, and all of you that have called me. I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Ms. Farguson. Rocky?
The other thing I have is, I just want to thank Sandra, who was involved in planning the dinner and the party. I had a great time, food was great, so thank you. That's all.
Thank you for that, Rick. Mr. Austin?
I have nothing, Mayor, thank you.
Ms. Jackson? Sunshine? Pittman? Mr. Curtis?
I second thanks for the public party.
Mr. Gladden?
Nothing tonight, sir.
All right. That takes us to the budget and requests. Go to Ms. Ridley? Mr. Evans?
No request.
Brian? Miller?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Manwaring?
Nothing, thanks.
Mr. Shepherd?
Nothing, Mayor.
Ms. Molly? Mr. Lee? Mr. Iser?
I just want to give everybody an update on Clear Wave. I must have done a full-time job, with it, but I sent them a nasty gram, I believe on Friday of last week. They had Christmas Muir's business. He had a chunk of concrete sidewalk taken out. They left like a 4-inch gap there. Had aerated that to line, fill it full of gravel. Get another spot. Well, looking into it, they had the sidewalk all tore up with the boxes on along street. Middle school. And I was dropping my kids off one day. I was watching kids walk around these boxes, which prompted the nasty gram. It made its way up the food chain, and along with the bill for Darren's labor and rock. Today, Darren and I went and looked on 20th Street, and looks like they're fixing it. They're doing it well. They rebarred both sides of the concrete, had it ready to be formed for filled. So hopefully we'll get that taken care of. There's Frontiers on their way in. You're sure they do the same.
Are we still, where we're only allowing them permits on a certain amount of work at a time?
Yeah, and I've switched it up a little bit. It was kind of trial and error with Clear Lake. Frontier, I'm gonna do it by ward, so that it might keep that a little bit more contained.
Are we not allowing a permit till we sign up on the work that was done in the previous area?
Chief McBride, myself, Darren, we went through the town and made a list, 2-page, almost 3-page list of every area that's been dug up or needs fixed. And there for a while, they were just pouring sackreed into the streets, which wasn't getting it done either. So
We should have never even allowed it in town. I hear you.
They should- For the fire department. And I emailed them today, so.
When you enter into this Frontier, you go by ward to ward, make us aware when they're in our ward.
yes, they kind of started off on the wrong foot this week. I wanted one contact only. I got like 3 different emails from places in Minnesota, one in Quebec, and one in Nebraska, and I shot that out today and told them to deal with just one person per permit.
I mean, the only thing that I will say about what Frontier is going to be doing is that like 3/4 of their work's going to be on the poles above ground. So it's not going to be nearly as much underground as what.
But there's fiber also, is that what they're doing?
Like Mayor said, theirs is more so an upgrade of existing stuff that's above a few boring spots, but not as detailed as Clearway. But I did get a note from Nathan today. He said this basically is Clearway's MO. They will take as much as they can get until you actually put your foot down, and then they start to do their job. So
Yeah, I don't know. I almost want to just be sort of belligerent and just tell them you're just done here. Like everything you got, you can have, but just go away.
You know, from what he said, I didn't know that Frontier was gonna be involved in this summer. I mean,
They got the same federal grant money that Clearway did.
you know, resources is an issue moving forward. I mean, we used to get about maybe 10 to 15 utility locates a week, and that's quadruple.
Yeah.
We've done over 2,000 utility locates this year.
And that
We
we
don't
are
have any copies of it. We're that, we're almost at the second one.
yeah, I got two 8-inch binders full of Julie locates and switches and permits and pictures and photographs of Clearway. Like it's been, yeah.
Let me ask you this, Tim. I know like when I called Julie, you know, there was a guy that was not an Ameren or a Mediacom guy that came and did the marking for the cable and the lines. Is that something that it would be cheaper for us to outsource to a third party than it would to pay our own crew to do that?
Really not 100% on that. A lot of that depends on accurate mapping of your system and things that are marked, because some things unlocatable.
Right. And we know where they're at, not necessarily you can't just.
Yeah, there's been installation of water lines in the past that are unlocatable because they've been replaced with PVC cast without tracer. I'm not ruling that out, but additional resources. At one time, I can remember when they first came to this council, they did offer up the option of additional resources for that. Perhaps that's something we should look into, next year, asking for some help. Because one of my crew, basically, that's what he does now, just all of it. He's like, it's almost like a meter reader. He just reads me, this guy, I mean, 40 hours a week, it's a lot. And That's changed from the past 2 years. Where he would have done that, would have been a fourth this year.
The frontier, you would have potatoes located, it's mostly above though, will you?
If that's the case, it won't be an issue.
Yeah, and I don't know, I haven't got into, I haven't got past just the one contact thing yet, let alone what they're gonna do, so I don't know if it's resetting poles.
I mean, if they're doing fiber,
Yeah,
most fiber is run underground, you know?
yeah.
Unless they're drops, sometimes the drops are, I don't know.
I don't know, when I met with Frontier some time ago, they were wanting to come in and do all their work at the same time Clearway was doing theirs, and I said, you better go somewhere else, because I don't believe all of that. And then, of course, they claimed that, I think they said 70% of what they would be doing would be above ground on
It was a high percent.
on poles. So, of course,
Do they plan to come in and meet us the way Clearway did?
to do what?
Are they planning to come in and meet with us the way Clearway did, council?
Probably Clearway did that till after we stopped them
Yeah.
from what they were doing, maybe we tell them they need to do that.
I think
Before
that-
they come in,
yeah.
we can get a scope of what they're
That's
gonna
what
do.
the plan is.
Any idea of
It's a
the
good crowd.
finish date for Clearway? Do you have any idea how long they're going to be doing this?
They're no longer boring and putting in any, all the sidewalks and holes are complete. Their mooring company is out of town and their construction crew is in town, so.
I think the question is what percentage total completion.
What's a completion date? Do we have any idea?
Yeah, I don't get any, and so I've got a new contact, the guys from Harrisburg now, he's the one that's doing the construction crew. I'm not giving them my list of holes, they should know where they're at as well, so.
If they're planning on doing all the city limits, I'd say they're 20% complete.
Only 20?
If they're planning to do the entire city.
And that doesn't really include all of the boring that they're gonna have to do to get from the street to each individual house.
How they do that as they go along.
Huh?
They do that as they.
I haven't seen them going up to.
They do.
Because I know
Because I call it complaining.
Switched over.
they have a different crew that's their normal crew that goes out and does that boring.
I'd like us to add to the next agenda, consideration of Clearway's continued activity. You can have we can have a full discussion like that.
Well, that's the improvement there. Mayor, the only other thing I had was, I included you in that email, but I think they're planning on it next week sometime, that monstrosity of a machine coming through town. I'll keep you up to date on that as well.
Oh, yeah, there's some 200-foot long machine there.
Yeah, they're coming through town, so.
No, it's some oil rig or something.
Yeah.
It's just gravel.
It's just
Yeah, so if you just something that we know, Clearway.
No.
Let's just, let's do it.
There were two big sidewalk things going through there. You know what that was?
That was excellent, yeah, like a windmill,
Charlie, you want to send me that email so I know what's going on?
Yeah, I'll
Do they have to get, are they going just down Walnut Street?
no, they can't, they're coming in. And they can't go underneath the viaduct, so they go up, Creek Road and then down, Illinois Avenue. And then down 20th Street to Shoemaker and then back up Shoemaker and.
It was a long time ago, that was our planned truck by that.
Yeah.
In 1960.
Bad turn.
Yeah, apparently this thing has like 20 sets of axles on it, they can all fit individually in.
It's pretty narrow.
I don't be there now, so.
That's